Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to moosareacts. What a weekend. First game of the season against our big rivals Arsenal, or our old rivals. It's not been the same in recent years, but still it's always a game that gets the fan base off their seats and just glued into the game, whether you're at the stadium or you're watching it from home. And it was no different this year and the start of this season. What can I say, man? There's so much things that I want to go through. I was going to do a video right after the game, and then I just wanted to take some time to actually watch the game back, watch a couple of the points, and kind of see what really unfolded on Sunday. Because in the heat of the game, and while watching the game, it was hard to kind of judge, because you felt like United were on top. United were doing well. We were playing better. But I really wanted to get into the data and get into what really actually happened. What was Arsenal's approach? What was their thinking? How did they approach the game? Did the way Arsenal approached the game allow us to implement our system better? Did the players that the manager chose to start with, did that help? Did it help start in Delo? Did it help start in Mason Mount and Luke Shaw? Were all the substitutes right? Were they wrong? Was the starting lineup? Like, there was a lot of things that I wanted to get into. And I think I'm going to start with, first and foremost, shouting out Cunha and Mbeumo, our new signings. They were just magnificent in terms of, the spark that we saw that they have. And Mbeumo, killer first touch. Always direct, always wanting to take on the opposition, but loves space to run into. I saw that Mbeumo's a player that's going to need space to run into. He loves the space. Our approach may be on teams like what we saw yesterday with Arsenal, who want to play like a low block and just not really attack. We might have to kind of do a few things different. Cunha's the same. I realised that even though Cunha can play the 9, you lose a lot of what Cunha is about when he's that far up the pitch and he's not in the 10 position. Cunha is someone who has the ability to play the 8 and the 10 very well. He has a great ball carrying ability, and also he has an eye for goal. And I think you lose the maverick of the player when he's not playing in that 10 position. So I kind of get it, and I understand the importance of having somebody else in that 9 position. Dare I say, Joshua Zirkzee will come on to that. And yeah, I think those two starting, they showed us what we were missing. They showed us the quality, the depth of quality that we needed in those positions, not just for the Amrin system, but just for the club of Man United and our stature. To have those type of players at the age that they're at is just perfect. And I feel like they showed what we were really missing. But I feel like most of you guys, starting lineup. When we got the starting lineup and everybody saw that Ahmad was not in it and Delo was starting, and we saw that Mason Mount was going to start in the 10 position over a Zirkzee, over a Sesko. A lot of us thought maybe he's injured, Zirkzee's just come back from an injury, so he's not match fit. Sesko's just come in, he's also maybe not match fit. So a lot of us like, cool, we get it. The Luke Shaw, no, everybody was, I think, a bit the same. What's going on here? Why is Luke Shaw playing? But when you saw he was playing as a left-sided centre-back, for me, the Luke Shaw one made more sense more than the other ones. I think the low for Ahmad didn't make no sense at all for me. And the reason being was that we've seen Ahmad in the whole of pre-season being one of our most dangerous players. And as far as I'm concerned, Ahmad is Manchester United's best player. That's just my opinion, because I'm only going to judge him on the basis of last season. Cunha and Mbeumo have just come. I can't say that they're our best players. We know that they're quality players, and we're going to get to see what they can offer us as the season goes on. But right here and now, if you have to ask me who Manchester United's most dangerous attacking player is, for me, it's Amad Diallo. So for Amad Diallo to not start is a crime. For me, it's a crime that he's playing right wing back, but that's another story, because I just don't believe that the 3-4-3 gets the best out of the players that we have. But we're going to go for it. It's the manager. He's doing his thing. I get it. But for him not to start, it's a crime. And then again, for me, there's 2 players that if you don't start them, it's a red flag for the type of football that I want to see. Kobe Mainoo and Amad Diallo. That's not me talking about the system, how you set up, blah, but I'm just saying if you have those 2 players at your disposal and the quality that they have, and you choose to put them on a bench because of a system that you're playing or whatever, it's already a red flag for me that something's not right, especially when you go with a Mason Mount. And I know a lot of people are going to be, well, Mount played well. Mount done. What did he do? How many shots on target? You know, what did Mount really do? Like, Mount played okay. Like, he didn't play bad. Mount wasn't the reason we lost the game. So I give him that, but he wasn't the reason we were gonna win the game. He wasn't the reason that had you lot off your seat when you was watching the game. That was Cunha, that was Mbumo, that was Ahmad when he came on. Mount just did well enough to me, similar to a Dalot, where when Dalot was on first half, everyone says, yeah, defensively we were solid. We were defensively solid when Dalot came off. When Ahmad came on, we didn't become defensively weaker. So that tells me it was the system that was working better for the team. The guys are getting to understand the system better so that they're able to defend as a unit more compact. They're able to defend better as a unit and attack better as a unit. So Dalot didn't make the difference. The system did for the unit, for the team. So this is why when Dalot came off, nobody missed him. Nobody was like, I understand why Dalot started. Ahmad's getting attacked too much, or we're getting too much, players are getting down that side of the pitch too. We didn't do that because, to be honest, we didn't feel the defensive change when Dalot came on for Ahmad. But what we did feel, we felt the impetus in attacking. We felt, Madueke getting ripped to shreds by Amad Diallo. We saw that in it, like he was twisting him in and out. We saw that as soon as Diallo got the ball near their box, they didn't want to touch him because they knew they would draw down a penalty at any given moment. We saw the threat that we have, and we also saw that Diallo and Mbumo still have to figure it out. So they need to play more. My opinion is that seeing Mbumo as a player that plays as a winger more than a 10 and loves to run into space, and the fact that he's played wing back for Brentford. This is not me making it up, just saying, let's try it out. No, Mbumo has played wing-back for Brentford. And because he loves to dart into that channel and he loves to, to run and to be so direct and to get into the attacking position, I think Mbumo works better as a wing-back for us. And I think we're going to learn that as the season goes forward. Because I think that Ahmad's ability to have the ball stuck to his foot in tight-knit conditions and play 1-2s, he's better in the 10. So I think there's going to be a swap that happens during the season. Not because Ahmad sees it, because Amrin sees it. I think it's just going to happen naturally because we're going to be called to make that change. And he's going to say, hold on. And Mbumo's actually good as a right wing, but he's done it for Brentford. You should know that, Amrin. And that's another situation. So for me, again, I think it's something that we might see depending on the game. So for me, against Fulham, where I think they'll have a low block and we're going to need to break them down, I put Ahmad in a 10 and I put Mbumo in the wing-back position because we don't need the low against Fulham. And I give Mbumo the space that he needs and requires as a wing-back to just attack down that flank, to get into dangerous positions and to give him the space to do what he needs to do. So that's what I would do against a Fulham. Do you know what I mean? So then I look at the game yesterday, guys, and I'm like, Man United, from what I've been told, played, if you want to score them out of 10, they were a 7, 8 out of 10. And Arsenal was a 5 or 6 out of 10. So the question I ask is, how is an Arsenal that's 5 out of 10 turning up to Old Trafford and walking away with a victory if we were 8 out of 10? Because the reason we were able to play better and assert ourselves onto Arsenal is because, like everyone's saying, they were a 5 out of 10. We were an 8 out of 10. So obviously we're going to look better and play better. But when it counted, Arsenal should never be able to come to Old Trafford, whether we're well and playing good or we're playing, they should never be able to come to Old Trafford, play 5 out of 10 and walk away with a victory. And then we sit here as a fan base and be like, oh yeah, we played well, we're looking much better. Are we, guys? Because I remember going to the Emirates last season and we should have won there. We played very well there. We knocked them out of the cup as well. I remember last season sitting down thinking, why are we playing good against the big sides, but we're playing crap against the small sides? So for me, it's not strange that Man United played well against the big side. For me, the proof is going to be in the pudding against Fulham and Burnley. Do we get 6 points Do we pick up 3 from Fulham and 3 from Burnley? That's when I'm going to be like, okay, this is really happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Things are happening. But that being said, I think we look more comfortable in the system. I think the players are getting to understand what Amrin wants. Do you know what I'm saying? But for me, you have to pick your best players. Arsenal played Gyökeres, even though he didn't play all pre-season because he was arguing with Sporting about going to Arsenal and he was sitting out. He's only had 2 or 3 weeks with Arsenal, but they started him because he's a part of their best 11. Zubimendi's just come in. He was started because he's a part of the best 11 that Arteta sees. So Arsenal came to Old Trafford and fielded their best 11 team, whether it was ready or not. And they were able to get a point. I'm a staunch believer that if you play your best 11, you will win more games than you will lose because it's sustainable. It's the team that you want out there. But for me, Amarin, I can see that he kind of got scared and he just faulted because he'd been playing Ahmad all pre-season, you know, and then the big game came started the Premier League campaign against Arsenal, and he thinks, Arsenal might be a bit too attacking. Let me put Dalot in there. It was a waste, and that's why he made the change after 55 minutes. We're chasing the game, and then during that same period of chasing the game, he needs to take off Casemiro because where's Kobe Mainoo? Kobe Mainoo will bring more. He'll have his foot on the ball, more stability, more possession on the game, but possession with purpose. There's one thing having possession, but then you say, what have we done with it? We're talking about purposeful possession, which someone like Kobe brings. But what does he do? He brings in Ugarte, and Ugarte is just losing ball after ball after ball, and that was wrong. Mason Mount for Sesko, we get it. He came on, you know, he done a couple 1-2, you know, he done a couple plays, you know, held up the ball a bit. Sesko's his first game. It's understandable. But again, I think the manager made mistakes in the lineup and we paid for it. Because I think the level that Arsenal was at yesterday, being 5 or 6 out of 10, and the fact that we were a 7 or 8, with Ahmad in the first half, I think we get a goal. We definitely score in the first goal, I think, if Ahmad starts. Maybe Mount, I get it, okay. Luke Shaw, I think he done well. But I think the Diallo one, because he adds as another attacker. Because without Amad Diallo, you're asking Cunha and Mbeumo to do it all on their own. And that was a big ask. I don't want to put too much pressure on these guys, but the pressure is on. They haven't scored in a Man United shirt yet, in pre-season or in the first game. And that's not pressure for me, that's pressure from themselves, because they've come as strikers. They've came in as 2 players who scored 15 goals last season in the league. I know the pressure's on them and they're putting it on themselves, and I can see that with the way Cunha was snatching at some of the shots. And same as Mbeumo, they want to get that goal in to give them that you know, that good feeling that yes, you know, I've arrived and scoring at United is going to be something that's going to be easy for me. And the longer they don't get that goal, the more they're going to get that thought in the back of their head, and then the more we're going to get all of that noise that we get from outside of the club, from the press, from rival fans, and it's going to be difficult, I'm not going to lie, because that pressure of Man United is hard. So I'm hoping they get a couple goals, or at least they can get 1 each against Fulham. But again, like I was just saying on the Straight Jacket podcast, there was a lot of things I think that we did well, but yeah, there's also a lot of things that I think we did bad. And I feel like we need to be able to be honest in our criticism. Because a lot of people think like if you criticize how we played yesterday, oh, you're being negative, you're not giving the man a chance. No, let's just be honest. When that lineup came up, everybody was shocked. Well, where's Ahmad? What's Dalot doing? We were all shocked. And just because we played better, I think we would have played even better had the right players been on the pitch. If you start the game yesterday with Kobe Mainoo and Amad Diallo, I think it's different. Bruno needs to be as furthest up the pitch he can and away from the defence. This Bruno in a 6 and just forcing him into this position, it's not helping anyone and it's not going to help us. If you want to play a false 9 that you did yesterday, play Bruno as the false 9. As much as sometimes I have issues with Bruno, I know he's a better number 10 than Mason Mount. I know he's a better false 9 than Mason Mount. So what does that allow? That allows to play Bruno in the Mount position. And now you've got Kobe Mainu playing what Bruno was doing yesterday with Casemiro. So now you've got Kobe and Ahmad in that 4 in the middle of the park. Dorgu, Kobe, Casemiro, Ahmad. Then you've got your Cunha and Mbeumo and Bruno. Now it's more attacking. But the unit and the system is still going to be working as hard as it did yesterday because the players are getting to understand it better. And that's why I feel Amarin let himself down. You know, sometimes he's trying to force it a bit too much. But this season, it's going to be grueling and it's going to be unforgiving. People are not going to allow things to slide. And you have to start off well. Everybody before the Arsenal game, Saeed, Rance, Noureddin, everybody, all the man them tight, they all said this is an important game. How we start the season and how we start against Arsenal is going to be very important in terms of the points that we pick up from the next 2 games. I guess that everyone's still excited to an extent, or Saeed is, because even though we didn't win, we played like a team that should have. So that's giving everyone hope to go into the next games, which is Fulham and Burnley, and think that we would actually win. But to me, I'm thinking we played well against Arsenal last year. We played well against Chelsea, Liverpool. We played well against the big teams last year. It's the smaller teams that we didn't play well against. And this is where we're going to find out where United are really against Fulham and Burnley. So I'm happy that we're going straight into it next week against a Fulham and a Burnley to find out where we are. Because after those 2 games, we're back in it. I think it's City and Chelsea or something like that. So we're back into a madness after that. So we need to be ready. We need to be prepared. I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys saw the game. I know a lot of the fan base is happy and they're excited, but you have to understand, Arsenal were 5 out of 10. We were 8 out of 10. We had to look better than them. But we also had to beat a team that came to Old Trafford only being a 5 or 6 out of 10. We can't let teams come to Old Trafford playing 5 or 6 out of 10 and leave with wins. And another thing that my brother said to me, he messaged me and said, listen, most teams in the bottom half of the table are going to set up the way Arsenal did today. They're just going to ask us to break them down. And we're going to have more games like this throughout the season where we find it hard to break down. When he said that to me, I was like, you might be right. I wasn't looking at it like that because I was caught up as well in how the system was actually looking better. But now I've had time to think about it. I can only make real judgments after the next 2 games. Until then, I'm on the fence. I don't know if we were good. I don't know if we were the same as last year, just playing good against the big teams. After Fulham and Burnley, I'll be able to tell you if this is a new Manchester United or not. Until then, I guess it's guesswork. I can only have opinions, I believe, on the starting lineup and the substitutes that he made that didn't help. Ugarte, he's in problems, man. The kid's in problems, man. Ugarte, if we can, we might as well sell him this summer. If we can get an offer for Ugarte, sell him. Just wasting your time now. Just sell him. Get some money in. Because we're so much in need of a midfielder that it's crazy. Like, really, we should just be blowing that Baleba money now. Go and get Baleba in. And if you don't, you still have to go and spend the money. Because as a fan base and as a fan, we know what we watch. So we know Baleba's there. We know a few, Adam Walton, whatever. But you've got a scouting network that you pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to every year to find out who the next Baleba is. Who is that player that has those attributes? It's not our job. Go and get that player. I've been screaming out, go and test Chelsea with Lavia. Lavia is one of the best DMs in the game, in the league. He was great at Southampton and he's had problems at Chelsea with his fitness, having a few injuries. Last season was better, but he's only 21 years old. If you get rid of Garnacho and you bring in Lavia and we can get, 30 games out of him this season in the Prem and he only misses 8 or so, it would have been a good deal. Lavia is like Caicedo, Baleba levels. Let's not get it twisted. Lavia is that kid, but with the players that Chelsea have got in now, they've kind of started to make do without him. And I feel like if the board go to Chelsea and say, look, you can't have everything. You've got a load of midfielders. You want another attacker. Lavia's had a few injuries. United won him, and they're going to give us Garnacho at the same time. So you're going to have more options up front to score more goals. I think we get him. I think if we push for it. And the reason I say that as well is that Wilcox had him at City and Southampton. Guys, don't take my word for it. Just go back and watch some football of Lavia against while he was at Southampton. Remember, we wanted him. Liverpool wanted him. Arsenal wanted him. And he ended up at Chelsea. Everybody wanted him. He was the Beleba then. He was the next best thing after Caicedo. Lavia is that player. And I just feel the fact that we're about to do business with Chelsea, we should be pushing for that. Because we need a midfielder. Because all of a sudden, if we get Lavia in, and then we can get Beleba in next season, all of a sudden our midfield looks totally different come next season. But we also have a player that can actually do something for us now in this season, Prem proven, in Romero Lavia. So for me, he's the guy that I would go for. But I don't know what Man United are going to do. I don't know what direction that they're going to go in. Yeah, but we need a midfielder. We need a midfielder. And I don't know, man. But that's my analysis from the game this weekend against Arsenal. They're the things that I saw in the game that I think that could have helped us against them. Just picking the right players. Because I think that the team's getting better with the system. The players are understanding the system better. But he's got to pick the right players. Like, be brave. Arsenal picked their best 11. Line up with your best 11. Line up with Ahmad, right wing back. Put Colby in the middle of the park and Bruno's a false 9. All of a sudden, the team's looking mad. Everyone's just saying, "Raw, Amrin's going for it." And let the system do the talking. You've got a system. You said that you're going to die on the hill. It's 3-4-3. You're not changing it for anyone. You've got players. This is my belief. Your better players will come good sooner rather than later. Your better players. Colby, Ahmad, they're from our better players. We know that. Technically, they're better than Mount and Delo. So we will have better control of the game and more chances of winning the game. That's just my opinion. You guys might disagree. Leave your comments in there. Let's have a chat about it. Let's see what you guys think about the game. Do you think that he started the wrong players with hindsight looking back at the game? Do you think that Ugarte has a future at Man United, and how important is that midfield position? And how quick do the forwards need to start scoring goals? Can we go another 2 games with just getting draws and not the forward scoring? Like, can we imagine we win or we get a draw and the goal came from Bruno or the goal came from Casemiro? It's a lot of pressure on the forwards. They need to score. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to over pressure them, but they need to, just for their own benefit, just for them to be calmed down, stop snatching at chances. You've got this, because we believe in them. Cunha, out of this world, and Bumo, different gravy. And then you add Ahmad onto that, and Zertsky and Sesko that's about to come into the frame. Totally different team. I just hope that the manager can go in with the right team and believe in his system, believe in the players, and we can have a different approach to the smaller sides. Let me know what you think, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one. I'm going to do a Fulham game. I didn't do one for Arsenal, but you're definitely going to do a video on that. And there's a few other things I want to talk around the game. So I'll be dropping some more videos to see what type of midfielders are out there and who can we get. All right, see you on the next one. I'm out.